Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to MYC Uncensored. If you're new here, welcome. This is Satini, and today I am joined by a new and special guest.
Yay!
Introduce yourself, please.
Hi everyone, I'm Advika. I'm in year 12 right now, and yeah, that's about it. And
Yes.
I thought MIC was a really cool place to get,
Stop.
involved in.
Stop it. So yeah, as I mentioned, Advika this is her first podcast, and she's a
Yay.
new
I'm so
podcaster.
nervous.
So don't be nervous. She'll be
Okay.
right. She'll be right. Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay. So what are we going to be talking about today?
Oh, today I thought, because recently I've heard a lot about my friends and their ATARs, because that was released last week, and because I'm also in year 12, and I was like, hey, I need to actually figure out what this thing is, because I'm going to do it next year. I was like, hey, maybe let me research up on the ATAR, and I'll help everyone else understand it
Yeah.
as much as I can as well. Yeah.
No, for sure. Like, it must have been a very scary time for people out there getting their ATAs.
I
Because, I think if you don't fully understand it, it's a very hard concept to grasp.
Because you don't really know what to expect. It's like, genuinely, you're like, it's up to Nessa, you don't get it.
Yeah, like, you think you do well and then, yeah.
The amount of TikToks I've seen, oh my god, and people are devastated, and I feel so bad
Really?
for them. Yeah,
OMG.
I was like, girl, I'll help you. It's okay.
Yes, we're here to help you, and then don't worry, we'll definitely mention other pathways and stuff
Yeah.
you can take, so it's not the end of the world.
Exactly.
But yeah, so what exactly is the ATAR? So when people think about it, they think it's, the only pathway or the make it or break it to their future.
And it's
And
not,
then-
guys. It's really not.
Yeah, and some others, they just see it as another exam. So
Yeah.
There's all
And I
different-
hope I'm one of them, because it's honestly, if you go in with the idea like that this is going to change your life, you're just putting unnecessary pressure on yourself.
for
and
sure.
there's so many people I know, like, I think the amount of ATAR graduates is down to 60%. Like, the
Damn.
amount of people that get into uni through ATAR,
Yeah.
that's only 60% nowadays. So there's literally so much scope for you to get in without your ATAR. And yeah, I think people need to know that.
No, for sure. But yeah, well, that's why we're here. And I guess the first part is kind of understanding the raw HSC mark. So what is it?
Okay, now I did a lot of research, okay? But if I'm wrong, please call me out. Okay, basically, and I was really confused about this as well, because my teachers would always have multiple ways of explaining it. But basically, it's an average of your internal and external assessment mark, right? But the catch is that while your external is basically like your actual HSC mark, like the HSC you sit. Like, say I was sitting biology, and on the day of the HSC, I got like 90. Which is unrealistic, but let's pretend, okay? Let's pretend I got 90. That would just be my half of the external mark. But then the internal mark isn't literally what I score in my internals. So if I get like, say I get 70 in my internals, and that's not really that good of a mark, right, for biology, but then my rank in the class and in my cohort is second. So what happens on the day is that my 70 mark won't count, but my second rank does. So it's really confusing, but basically, from my school, whoever in biology got the second highest mark in the actual HSC, and say that was, like 92, say 92 was the second highest mark on the actual HSC day, and because I was second rank in the internals, my internal mark goes from a 70 to a 92.
Damn.
I know. And I didn't know this until like 2 days ago.
Yeah.
That's why they say ranks matter. Because I kept hearing people say ranks matter. But I was like, where is it going? Because aren't you getting an internal mark already?
Yeah.
But yeah.
Wow, so it really boosts them up.
Yeah, and apparently the logic is that some schools would, like, the level of difficulty in internal assessment would be different for every school. So by doing this, what they're doing is basically they're averaging you out to your school's average performance in the actual HSC, which is standardized, right? Because everyone in the state gets the same HSC, but people get different internals.
Yeah.
So they're basically trying to make sure that just because your exam was harder if you're from, say, James Roos, who, by the way, they lost their first rank.
I saw that on TikTok.
Oh my god.
Who was it?
It was Not in the Voice.
Yeah, I saw their reaction.
I know, me too.
I was
And they were so excited. I was like, girl, you deserve that excitement.
Yeah, insane. But yeah.
And because I come from a selective school, the
Yeah.
whole day we were talking about it.
Wow.
It was really funny. But anyways, so like, say you're from James Roos and your paper's like really hard. So you won't get like a 90 because it's a really hard exam. You'll get like a 60. But then your overall cohort's performing well in the HSC, which shows you're actually like, you know, academically in a smart school. So that's why your internal will get adjusted. So it's fair. It's very interesting.
Yeah. It's more to like, yeah. Wow. I'm literally speechless.
Yeah, me too.
'Cause, wow.
It literally took me like 10 articles to firstly understand what I was looking at.
Yeah.
And then make it work in my head.
Far out.
I know. And that's just the raw mark.
So then what else is next? What's after?
After that comes the scaling. So I think the scaling, okay. So the ATAR itself, right? It's 10 of your best units in your HSC subjects. And so if you're doing 12 units, that's already like in a way safer because you can basically get 2 like side units. They don't have to count. So your 10 best units are chosen, and then there's some stuff done based on school. So they scale first based on school. So again, like James Roos people will get scaled above just because their whole cohort is like, you know, academically above the rest of the state. But then there's also scaling based on the subjects themselves. So say if you were doing like, okay, by the way, guys, everyone says this. Everyone says don't do subjects that don't scale well. Trust me, if you're good at it, do it anyway. Because if you're good at it, you're going to rank well and you're going to get good marks and you're going to do well in the HSC.
Yeah.
And if you're at the top, no one can bring you down. Okay? You got this. But in theory, how that works and why that happens is because they say, because consider drama, right? The people that do drama and choose drama are usually very like creative people themselves, and they're actually passionate to it.
Yeah.
So what's going to happen is because they're so passionate and because they're so like committed to it, and also because the drama tests are more like free for interpretation, what happens is they are able to perform better than say something like maths, like maths extension 2.
It's like right or wrong.
Yeah, exactly. It's very objective. There's no like subjective part of it. So the reason that's the reason why it happens, because in maths extension 2, you just have to study, and then the exam's really hard because they want to like really vary out the scores. And that's why if you perform like, if you get, even the extension 2 is a 50 subject. Let's pretend it's not. It's at 100. If you got like a 70 in extension 2 and you got a 70 in drama, the extension 2 maths will get boosted up because a 70 in maths extension 2 is just, they think it's better because the exam was more difficult. And also because not as many people can get that mark. Whereas in drama, because people are already really passionate and people are already getting like 90s, 95s, 70s considered like lower. And so they scale it down compared to extension 2 math. Yeah. It's
no, that makes sense.
Yeah, I think it's just based on like the kind of people that do the subject as well. Yeah, but it's interesting.
No, it is interesting because I personally didn't do my ATAR, right? I started year 7 and 10 at a Catholic school, and then when I was in year 10, they were like, yeah, okay, you're able to do your ATAR, like choose your subjects. But then I was very hands-on. Yeah. So even though I did pretty well in my like schoolwork, my assignments and all that stuff. I was just more of a hands-on person. So there was an option to go to another school that they were connected to, which was kind of like, it had vocational college in it. I'm going to say that. So it was like kind of like TAFE-ish, and I was able to do retail, event management. What else did I do?
Girl, that's already cool enough.
Entertainment.
Oh, that's cool.
So I get my certificates in there. So I obviously had my friends in like, you know, my old school, like all stressed about the ATAR and stuff, and I was
And you're just laughing
man,
at them.
I'm just like, all I had to do was just sit my child HSC, and then
Yeah.
and that was it. I got my certificates. We
I
finished school
know.
early while everyone was stressing. So it's good for me as well, like to kind of learning more about the ATAR today, because the way you're explaining it is really well. I knew
Thank
that if I
you.
went online and was like had to read it myself, I'd be like, no.
It's so confusing,
chance,
bro.
yeah.
There's so many sources, and they all say different things different
Yeah,
ways.
yeah,
But yeah, no, that's also the point though. Like TAFE and things, they're always an option. And I feel like the whole, like, okay, the system's kind of based around the ATAR for reasons, like
yeah.
for the government's reasons, okay?
Mhm.
That's beyond the scope. But the real thing is, if you actually have like passion for things like say beauty and makeup, because I've seen, because I also went to a Kappa school at one
Yeah.
point from year 7 to 8, and I've seen people leave the school and go on to become amazing dancers,
Yeah.
go on to become amazing, like work in amazing beauty salons, and I'm
Mhm.
like looking at them, I'm like, girl, I wish I could do
I'm
half
still
of what
sitting
you
here.
do.
Yeah, mhm.
Right? And like they're actually getting paid so much,
know.
and much earlier than say people like me who want to go to uni, because
Yeah.
we're going to study for 4 more years. We're only going to do part-time
Mhm.
while they're working full-time. So
Yeah.
there's literally so many options in this country.
Mhm.
And I feel like people need to deviate from like just focusing on the ATAR, because it's important for some
Yeah.
people, but it's also just another option.
No, for sure.
There's so many options out
Mhm.
there.
And yeah, and take advantage of the options out there. 'Cause,
Exactly.
like, say if you couldn't get a job after school as well, and then there's agencies like how here we're in partnership with Assuria, so they do like study and work, like they help you find something to study and then work in that
Yeah,
industry.
there you go.
So there's so many certificates out there, online courses or short courses as well. Like if you don't have the attention span after year 12, because
I know I won't.
and yeah, there's so many things out there, and I think like of course try your hardest,
Yeah.
do the best that you can, and every effort that you put into it will show. But sometimes the results aren't what we want, and
Sometimes
that's
the
only
results
normal.
aren't what you are. Like
Yeah,
the
it's not
results,
accurate, yeah.
exactly. The results can be because of different factors, and you can't really control that in
Yeah,
life.
so that I think just really, I don't know, looking after your mindset
Yeah,
will
that's
be
the
very
most
important, because then when you have a healthy mindset, and then the options out there for you will be endless, and
Exactly.
you won't really go into a deep hole,
Exactly.
because yeah, it could be tough, like you said on TikTok, them reactions.
It's actually so
is-
sad, because some people are actually full on crying, and I
Man.
like on one side I feel like, girl, it's just like a mark,
Yeah.
but then I also know how much effort they put in,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and how much it took them to get to this point,
Mhm.
and how disappointing it must be. But like that's what I guess that's what we're trying to say here. Like it's a complex thing,
Mhm.
and it's not something that you can control no matter how hard you try, because at the end of the day things are going to be out of your control.
Yeah.
So try your best for sure, but if it doesn't work out, there's so many ways.
Mhm.
Like come to Maryland's Youth Center. They'll help you. Okay? They're
We
amazing at
will.
this. Come to Satini. She'll help you.
No, but yeah, I think we've basically covered everything there is.
Oh, I think so.
Yeah, there's nothing else for me to say. Is there any last words from you?
I don't know, guys. I'm saying all this right now, but next year I might be crying over this as
Yeah,
well.
We might do like a part 2. Be
Yeah,
like, okay,
yeah.
so how was your result?
I don't want to talk right now. No interviews, please. No, like it's better on the other side.
Yeah,
That's what
yeah.
all my friends say.
Oh, yeah.
So maybe we should do a part 2. See how my mindset evolves over the year.
We'll be back in 2024. Yeah.
Yep, guys. See you then.
No, but yeah. Anyways, no, thank you.
Thank
you very
you.
much for joining me. It was a really fun episode, actually.
I know, right?
Despite it being such a very complex,
Mhm.
subject to talk about, but it was really fun.
Same.
OMG.
Thank you for having me.
But yeah, guys, as always, if you have any other questions or topics that you want to suggest or that we should talk about, then our links are in the description for you. And yeah, we'll see you next time. Bye.
See you. Bye.